Hello, this is Cody Carlson doing Module 10 for AEP AED, bully prevention and having safe school environments. The provided articles for this module, the first one I read was how feeling respected transforms a student's relationship to schools. Main parts of that was students believed that respect involves the basic recognition of your humanity. It seems that kids today demand respect way earlier in a teacher-student relationship than in previous years. They feel as if you don't pronounce or even know their name and say it correctly, that you don't respect them. They don't really accept being embarrassed or being shunned in front of their classmates when doing something wrong. That is a very disrespectful thing as well. But one on the flip side too, they want the teacher to believe in them. If they know that you value and care for them, they have a way higher chance of succeeding. So that middle ground's there's not many people in the middle ground. There's either you disrespect me or you believe in me. And that's a lot of the teacher mindset, and discipline styles have a large effect on that classroom because there is no middle ground. I resorted that back to standard 4, where a building leader must find ways to promote a variety of relationships that will provide stability to the school environment. These relationships could be between the teacher and student, to a student's parent and the teacher, or the school and the community. All have roles that develop a school environment, and we need to promote the positive social and emotional development of every student, as well as the academic side, is what I got out of that article. The second one, creating a warm and inclusive classroom environment, planning for all children to feel welcome. I felt this one focused on making your environment just very positive for the student to work. They mentioned about decorating your classroom with just warm things like plants and rugs and soft chairs, just making them feel secure and comfortable. Maybe even adding lights. They said most classrooms are not very welcoming right now, which is, you remember your own classroom, it's true. So doing what you can to soften lights and everything helps. That's called a universal design as well. So not always having your desk all in a row, even though it might be the simplest and use your most space. Rearranging desks from time to time, maybe in groups of 4 or 6, to just help promote group discussions. You can't really talk to everybody if you're in rows. I put this standard connected to number 2, a building leader must be able to create and grow a school environment that is inclusive and safe for all students. This environment should provide all students with the opportunity to be impactful members of their school community. Everybody wants to be involved. Your classroom should be set up that way. Number 3, strategies for building a productive and positive learning environment. Positive action curriculum was a big part of this. Teaching positivity, kindness, making healthy choices, time management. So not just what's in the history curriculum, but positive action curriculum is a huge deal in creating productive citizens, which I'm a huge supporter of. The reinforcement of positive behaviors, they're going to celebrate success rather than being a discipline type team, and this will help strengthen intrinsic motivations of their students. And then we're focusing on relationships first, and then the school second. So we're going to support the child. If the child knows that their teacher values them, then you're going to have a good school year. One of the great things that I took from this article was the "In a Million Words or Less" letter. So at the beginning of each school year, have your students' parents write a letter describing their kid to you. I feel like you get a lot of insight, not just on the student, but of the family dynamics as well. How caring, how well is that student being taken care of? based off of how that assignment would go. I related this one back to Standard 5. A building leader must provide positive reinforcement for positive student engagement. They go hand in hand. This will promote a culture that is based on positive student conduct. And then the last article, 3 essential priorities for school principals. The world of education has changed, so the priorities of building leaders should change. Now, one of the best top priorities should be to create a positive school climate for all students so that they may feel engaged no matter what their diversity. Number 2, provide direction and allow staff to embrace their own leadership roles. You hired quality staff. Why don't you just let them do the job that they want to do instead of micromanaging everything? And then 3, must understand and be connected to the school's community. It seems the more in this course we go, they talk about the relationship between a school and its community. It is the public school system, and the community is a huge part of that. I related this standard to number 3. A building leader must provide multiple systems of support and activities that accommodate a variety of learning opportunities for a large range of students. Providing support systems to address all issues and lack of resources from the community should be a priority. 4 of the articles I found on bully prevention. Number 1 was bully prevention, 5 tips for teachers, principals, and students. The reality of bullying. I thought this was a great quote. No one is to blame, yet everyone is responsible. We can all work to prevent bullying, and it's in every student's life, so we might as well step up to the challenge. As teachers, building leaders, principals, parents, as the adult in the situation, we are all an example, first and foremost. We must be the leader by practicing what we want our students to do, providing positive relationships with students. All a student wants is for someone that's there to listen and makes them feel cared for. I think every adult can do that, and just be present. That goes part with it. The second one, 10 best practices in bullying prevention, looking at positive behavior intervention systems. This must be a top priority in the culture of your school. It must be continually tried to improve on. So that means having discussions and providing social emotional lessons to your students would be a huge part of this. As we know in PBIS, they have the be safe, be respectful, be responsible rules. Well, you're going to need some of those rules to expectations to be based off of bully prevention so that you can always look back at them. And then we'll develop cultural competency strategy, skills, and use that are inclusive for all. And then we will provide teachers with the support needed. The We Will generation. The We Will generation is a act through the PTA. One of the best stats I saw was nearly 60% of bullying situations end when a peer intervenes. So the We Will generation is for students, saying the we is students. We're gonna build leadership through the students with this class curriculum. We're going to provide them with opportunities to share positives to their classmates. Words of encouragement were a huge piece of this article about being able to take a negative situation, flip it into a positive, and just trying to avoid the bullying issue. And then 6 ways educators can prevent bullying in schools. Life skills such as kindness and empathy should not just be encouraged and talked about as culture, but it must be taught throughout a child's entire career from kindergarten to senior year. And then we're going to use teacher practices that foster a sense of community, using group projects and even daily collaborations, just getting students to connect with one another. And then a huge tip was identifying gateway behaviors for early patterns of bullying. So if a teacher could be a little bit more conscious of just if a student eye rolls every time another student talks, or is there constant staring or name calling, ignoring or maybe excluding, being able to correct these student behaviors early is way easier than getting to them late. Maybe. So the data summary, how and where. The most common type of bullying was name calling and teasing. So verbal verbal bullying happened to almost half of the students. Spreading rumors or lies happened to a third of students, and physical bullying happened to a fourth of students. Most of these situations occurred 29% in the classroom, 29% in the hallway or lockers, and then 23% in the cafeteria, and then 19% in the gym or P. But if you add those together, 50% of these incidents happened in a classroom where an adult was supposed to be present. So, missing procedures, one thing, not only can a teacher be there for everybody, but students lack the see something, say something procedures. Also, teachers lack training to detect early signs of bullying. Maybe these happen, but it hasn't blown up yet, so they're not able to necessarily catch it. And then I do believe that proximity lowers chances of bullying, but you got to be present in that. Also missing was our climate struggles. We had some climate struggles, lack of classroom rules or expectations, I would guess, and then lack of a positive climate where all students support each other, which is what we're trying to aim for. What changes when correct steps are taken? What would we see? Our student-teacher relationships would grow, which would then turn into improved student learning. We know that a positive climate is directly correlated to student success. Students will feel connected with their peers and learn from one another. In this diversity class, we're talking about how students who are able to have opportunities with other cultures and were able to learn more. So this will improve their willingness to learn and kind of see open, which will improve our entire world. The school climate will be positive, encouraging, where all students will feel valued, and the students support one another. They have a feeling of purpose. These were my resources. These were my standards. Thank you very much.